little nighttime hands-on and driving with the 2023 Honda Pilot Trailsport. It is redesigned for this year. It's got an all-new V6 with 5 more ponies. And check out this diffused sky pearl paint color. I like it. It even looks amazing at night. Now, up front, we have fully LED headlights as well as daytime running lights right below. And these fog lights are really, really bright. I'll show you. Look at the spread that they're putting right here at the bottom. So that's going to be very, very handy if you're doing some off-roading at nighttime. And for the turn signals, there's an amber LED that comes up right at the top that's separate from the daytime running light, which I appreciate. Turn indicators are also included into the side mirrors as well as we come from the side. I like the looks of the new Pilot. It looks great. We have these 18-inch wheels on this Trailsport with a 1-inch lift compared to the normal Pilot, and you also have all-terrain tires. So the first time ever on a Honda SUV out of the factory. I guess maybe the Ridgeline might have been the only other vehicle to have all-terrain tires out of the factory. And then looking at the back, we have a good illumination here of the rear license plate, full LED rear lights here, and the turn indicators right in the middle of those two top and bottom rear tail lights. All right, let's go ahead and get in the back seat to see what the ambient lighting is back here, if there is any. One thing you'll notice right away is that this button to move the second row seat forward is illuminated. That's great. Really in the back row, once the lights are off, the only thing that I noticed was on are these little USB ports on each side, little USB-A's. Closing the back door, the window switch is illuminated. That's all I'm getting on the door panel. Nothing around my feet. We do have, of course, illumination for the climate control section and then also for the USBs back here as well. The power port for your AC power is not illuminated, unfortunately. We do have these little map lights up here, fully LED. Let's go and get it on the inside, the front seat. On the door panel, we have the illumination of the memory seats as well as all your window and lock controls and mirrors. Rear defrost is kind of in a weird area. Surprised it's not with the rest of the climate control over here. We do not have ventilated seats, only heated seats here, but they are illuminated. And this keeps the triple dial effect from the Civic, the new HRV, the new CRV. I love the climate control, how the setup here is, and the new Honda's illuminated USBs here, USB-A and USB-C. I have a little light down here for your wireless charger, that even the power button is illuminated. Your drive-by-wire buttons are illuminated as well, and then your drive mode, brake hold are there as well. Not the cup holders. It would have been nice to have some cup holder illumination. The only ambient lighting I notice in here is in this small little storage cubby built into the dash. So that's a strange decision. I have nothing in the footwells. The heated steering wheel button is illuminated, and then also your typical functions here on the steering wheel. The traditional analog speedometer is illuminated, and then you have this smaller, looks like a 6 or 7 inch screen on here on the left, which is customizable. And then when you put it into sport mode, the lights on the outside don't change. That's something I thought it would change, but really it's only this light at the top of this electronic speedometer. Your roof controls are as well illuminating. You have these little lamp lights above, always shining down. So I guess that's nice to have. You have a cabin reflector in here. It's real chunky. That's great to see the rear passengers, and then also doubles as a sunglasses holder. Ooh, foam line, not felt line, foam line. Way to go, Honda. All right, push button start into drive here. Let's get this show on the road in the redesigned Honda Pilot. You know, when I was doing the 0 to 60s right before this, a lot of engine noise. Doesn't sound too bad. 7.67 to 60. I noticed just how smooth the transmission is at, you know, when it's being pushed and hustled, as well as when it's just crawling around the malls, the parking lots. Like, I really love how Honda's tuned this 10-speed auto here in this Pilot. I feel like it's, you know, it's the same sort of transmission we see in the MDX. The MDX's shifts in that vehicle seem to be much more sporty, faster, stronger. Here it's more laid back, dialed back, more luxurious, I would say, more nonchalant. It's more like on island time, I would say, and I like it. This feels like a vehicle that would be perfect just putting around town. And yeah, the V6 is buttery smooth. something that a lot of its competitors can't hold a candle to with their turbocharged 4-cylinders. So let's just roll onto the gas here. Oh, quick downshift though. Oh yeah, and those shifts. I'm always surprised how much engine noise pops into the cabin. It's not artificial, it's natural, but it really seeps into the cabin when it's at full throttle, and you get a lot. It's very peaky, which is a good, you know, Honda's engines like to build in power. So after 4,000 RPM, it really takes off. And you know, I'm having more fun with this V6 and 10-speed auto combination than I thought I would. Now out here on the highway, well, it's not really the highway, but I'm going highway speeds about 60, 65. Even with these all-terrain tires, I'm not getting too much road noise. I do hear the water a little bit as I splash through the sprinkler water there. But the road noise is definitely louder than the wind noise. I'm not getting a whole lot of wind buffeting or anything like that, which is great. Yeah, it's mostly coming from these all-terrain tires. I'm sure you'd have a quieter experience, not in the Trailsport trim with the more road-focused tires, all seasons instead of all terrains. But it's not annoying. It's almost like a pleasant white noise that these tires give off when you're up to speed. Turning radius here as I do that U-turn, well, it's not good. This thing feels like a barge, and I was trying to maneuver it around my driveway this morning. It's hefty, it feels big, it is big, and maybe it's because these, you know, all-terrain tires limit the turn radius. I'm not quite sure, but it does not like to turn in small spaces. Now from an ergonomics perspective, I'm happy in here. You know, the armrests are really soft, they're comfortable. The seat is very accommodating. I don't feel like I'm being trapped or anything. Like the bolstering is nice and loose and wide, which is what I would expect in a vehicle like this in this stature. The steering wheel quality is fantastic. I'll play some of that B-roll stitching for you with that orange. Yeah, I like these Trailsport seats as well with the design on the headrest. So very impressed overall with the quality in here. You know, the materials overall are very, very impressive. Don't think that this is a luxury vehicle by any means with the materials, but the build quality, when you open and close the doors, there's nothing in this vehicle that seems off or the quality is not there. It feels very, very well built, and I'm happy with everything so far in this vehicle in terms of execution, fit and finish, etc. I like having my volume knob. I just wish this volume knob was bigger. I wish it was the size of these climate control knobs here. We're gonna see what the handling is like with this added lift. You know, I didn't get as much body roll as I was expecting there. The steering's not typical for smaller Honda vehicles. It's kind of whatever here, but you know, even though we have a increased ground clearance, maybe the Trailsport suspension, I know it's specifically tuned for this, maybe it's a little bit stiffer or something, but it felt really good in the turns. So if you're hustling the family around in the city, not only do you have the power and the smoothness, but you're gonna have a suspension that's up to snuff as well. So the handling is quite impressive, but what's actually just as impressive here, if not more impressive, is the overall ride quality. Maybe it's because this Trailsport has that you know, improved in suspension dampers and tuning, as well as, you know, these cushy all-terrain tires, but literally it soaks up every single imperfection in the road, and this thing rides in luxury quality. So it's very, very smooth, very happy here overall with the ride quality, the handling, the noise suppression, etc. Even with these large tires, I'm going to hit this sewer cap and it just soaks it up great. Now it doesn't have the double wishbone suspension that we see in the MDX, but honestly it does really, really well in smoothing everything out. So well done, Honda. Very, very impressed here with the ride quality. And as I'm pretty much doing some off-roading here, trying to hit every single imperfection in the roads I pull into Duncan, there's no creaks or rattles anywhere in this thing. It's built very, very solidly, like from granite.
Good morning, can I help you?
Good morning, I'm picking up for Kirk.
Hope you can come over.
Thank you. Got to use those Dunkin' rewards, man. Now, this is the first time I get a chance to look at these headlights, looking with the brights on. Very bright, like white color with these LED lights. So it's not like a off-white or amber or anything. It does a really good job. You know, when you're driving, the fog lights don't have that big of a role to play, unfortunately, but you know, they're there for fog and if you need some additional illumination for off-roading. The brakes in here are super predictable. Typical Honda fashion. I have no issues bringing this vehicle to a very smooth stop. And if I put it into reverse here, for example, we have the Trailsport camera, top-down camera, which is very brightened at nighttime. You can see around this truck very, very easily. As I'm stopped here at this light, definitely stay tuned for my daytime driving, which I'll use this vehicle for its intended purposes, not off-roading, but as a family vehicle. I'm going to load it up, use pretty much all the seats in here for my family, and have a good time. Maybe going on a trip, go somewhere for lunch or something. That would be fun. But this is going to be our daily workhorse. I just got this yesterday, but it'll be our weekly workhorse this week, as this vehicle is on loan to us from Honda. It's very, very sprightly. Even it doesn't need to even rev much past 2,500 RPM, and I feel like I'm going quite quick here. So don't think that you need to wring this 285 horsepower V6 out. Even though its torque is not that impressive at 262 pound-feet, since it is naturally aspirated, it's not quite as impressive on paper as Mazda's 3.3 liter inline 6 turbo. But you know, I don't feel like I'm lacking anything here. Maybe fuel economy. That's going to be the thing that I'll tell you guys at the end of my time with this vehicle what it's going to be, but it's not that's where this vehicle kind of falls back from its competition that have hybrids or mild hybrids. But yeah, it's completely black out here for the most part. There's no street lights coming down, and the auto high beams just kicked down a little bit even though nobody's coming. And when I was in the neighborhood earlier, they kicked on when I didn't need the brights. So what do the brights look like? Well, they're fantastic, very wide. They go very, very far. So yeah, the illumination here for your nighttime driving is going to be very sufficient here, at least in this Trailsport model, but it's probably the same on all the models. Another model that's somewhat similar to this that I've driven recently and I liked quite a bit because you can get it for crazy deals is the Rock Creek Pathfinder, and that has a lot more road noise with its all-terrain tires than what we see here in this Trailsport. Just wanted to add that in for comparison. Yeah, really smooth brake pedal. Oh yeah, it's great. I typically have no issues with Honda brake pedals, and Honda's hit it out of the park here. And we do have a start-stop system, and actually this is the first time I've noticed it, just because I was looking at the tachometer and I noticed it zeroed out there. So that's impressive for Honda to have such a smooth start-stop system with a large V6. I didn't even know it had it. And I've been driving this vehicle not super long. I put maybe 20 miles on it or so. But that's the first time I noticed it. And when you get off the brake pedal, I guess now that I know that is just start-stop feature, I noticed the engine coming on, but it's very quiet and there's not a lot of vibration. So well done, Honda, with your start-stop engine technology here to save a little bit of fuel, which families will definitely appreciate with this thirsty V6. But the 10-speed auto is going to help it on the highway, especially to get, you know, the most highway fuel economy. There's only so much you can do in town. Blind spot monitor worked with that motorcycle, which is pretty cool. Even at nighttime, I mean, it was in the center lane and then it moved to the far lane, but it still picked it up. So that's great for motorcyclist detection. Now, blind spot monitor is not standard on the EX. I think it comes standard on the Sport and above. And I don't think this vehicle launched with the EX trim. So it started with Sport, and then for me, it would be hard to go for the Sport because it doesn't come with the parking sensors. So I'd be going for like the EXL. I think that's probably going to be your best bang for your buck, the most safety features as well. And you won't have to live with the cloth seats either. And man, I'm really, really happy with these seats. So I'm going to end it here for the Honda Pilot, this new generation here. very impressed with the overall refinement here. And all of Honda's new vehicles, from the Civic to the CR-V, HR-V, to the Accord, you can say they're a double dosing of vanilla and no real surprises. But man, they have seemingly refined these vehicles out of the gate to the nth degree, to luxury levels, with build quality, the overall materials. Yes, I'd like to have more features and technology in their cars. Like this screen is dinky for the size of this vehicle. That's yeah, maybe I'll talk more about that in my daytime review. But yeah, I'm a happy camper in here. There's nothing in here that really bugs me, and everything is very pleasant where I want it to be. There's no frustrations with ergonomics or functionality with the buttons or anything. So well done, Honda. And I didn't even mention the safety features like radar cruise control and lane keep, which is the Honda safety has been pretty fantastic as of late. Starting with this starting with this new Civic next to me, Civic hatchback there. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. If you enjoyed these nighttime reviews, smash the like button and comment down below if you want to see more nighttime driving impressions. It's always fun for me. It's actually very early in the morning. I get up before 5 o'clock to do these, and there's barely anyone on the road, so it's very pleasant. And it's typically more fun than the daytime driving because there's no one out here on the roads, and I can do stuff like this and laugh my way into the sunrise. So thank you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day. Peace out.